The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, revealed that the Ukraine war has forced up to 14 million people to flee their homes since February 24, when the war began. He said that this at a briefing with the UN Security Council on Wednesday. Moses Imendi has the details in this report.
The loss of life, the overwhelming infrastructural damages, and the hardships unleashed on world economies dominate news headlines as the thorough effects of the Ukraine war. But the outflow it spurred means a refugee crisis has also been created. The outflow has left Europe with no other option than to deal with a refugee influx. The United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees, Filippo Grandi, told the United Nations Security Council on Wednesday that the 14 million people forced from their homes represents the fastest and largest displacement witnessed in decades.
The Russian invasion of Ukraine has driven the fastest and largest displacement witnessed in decades. Some 14 million people have been forced from their homes since the 24th of February. Ukrainians are about to face one of the world's harshest winters in extremely difficult circumstances. Humanitarian organizations have dramatically scaled up their response, but much more must be done, starting with an end to this senseless war.
Service as President of the Council for the month of October.
That it is not only Ukraine where conflict has driven people from their homes. In the past 12 months alone, UNHCR has responded to 37 emergencies around the world. 37. Yet the other crises are failing to capture the same international attention, outrage, resources, action.
He added that the way Ukrainian refugees have been treated should not be an exception but a norm. The UN and humanitarian agencies are forcing that new fighting in the east and south, Moscow's intensified targeting of power plants and other infrastructure, the approaching winter and fears of a nuclear attack could drive even more Ukrainians to flee their homes in the coming months.
And displacement is becoming increasingly complex. New factors are forcing people to flee, intersecting with traditional drivers of displacement, especially the climate emergency. I fear that without more attention and much greater financing for prevention, adaptation, and development and governance support, tensions, frustrations, competition will grow and spark wider conflict with deadly consequences, including displacement.
Diplomatic skill with which they conducted the Council's business.
The suffering, loss, and despair of 103 million uprooted people, and of many more, which my colleagues and I witness every day, Mr. President, are not the fantasy of an idealistic humanitarian worker. They're very, very real. Allow them to be a humble but compelling call to action.
The High Commissioner called for political solutions from the Security Council. Ukrainian refugees are granted freedom of movement across the Schengen space. Poland received more refugees than any other country, with nearly 1.5 million Ukrainians registered as refugees. More than 450,000 are registered in the Czech Republic, and smaller numbers have gone to other European countries, including Bulgaria, Slovakia, Romania, and Hungary. Moses Imendi.